So, human design is a hack. It's a life hack. If we take for granted that this reality in which we live is a virtual one, we can consider this reality and these lives that we lead to be a game. And if it is a game, wouldn't it be lovely if we had a hack for the game, right? Well, there's lots of hacks for the game. There's astronomy, there's astrology, there's medicine, there's chakras, there's religion, there's, golly, I have to get on board here. Okay, so anyway, human design is one of them. And if the game is complicated enough, then the hack itself needs to be slightly more complicated to help you understand the game. There are some games online, for instance, I play a game with my daughter called ARC, where you're just basically in a sandbox world and you get to do whatever you want. Gardening, you can go kill things, you can go fly, you can explore, whatever. It's your world that you can live in. And the hacks for it are multitudinous. There's so many hacks. You could spend your life watching ARC hacks. And this is kind of like that. There is value in the information, but only as much as you are willing to take it in and use it to examine yourself. So the whole point of everything is to find out who we are and then to be that. Yeah? And I would add one thing extra. Once you figure out how to be exactly who you are, then you can also start to figure out how to be who you are not. But what we do, not knowing any better to begin with, is we begin by trying to be who we are not. This is not our fault. This is because of the conditioning of society that tells us as soon as we come into the home and we start to be fed in the incorrect way and treated the incorrect way and abandoned and left to cry and hurt in all the ways that babies get hurt all over the planet. They take us out of our true self, and then as soon as they put us into school, we enter a sharp, strong conditioning network from which we cannot escape by law, right? So then we become slaves, revolutionary today, to the state in order to be able to live in the system until we are the magic age, whatever that is, 13, 18, and then we're just shoved out into the world and said, okay, now make yourself work in our system. Well, it don't work like that. We don't get very far fighting our nature. This is a hack to help us see our nature. This is a roadmap. This is an electrical diagram. This is a wiring harness that's individual for each one of us. Every single one of us has a different set of numbers, even twins. So, there are, I think, other systems that can help with understanding twins, but I'm not saying the system is perfect. I'm just saying it's a system. It works. There's a lot of information here. This system is a conglomeration of Western astrology, Eastern astrology, I Ching, Kabbalah, chakras, biology, physics, all this stuff wrapped into one, synchronized and upgraded.
Which do you like better, Eastern astrology or Western astrology?
My favorite is Eastern astrology, and specifically astrology based on the I Ching. So I do a 9-key system of Chinese astrology that I think is actually really helpful and gives supportive information to human design, a different aspect that you might not have thought of. What you call Western astrology, I tried to get into it, but I never really could. And then somebody told me that the reason that was because, no shade on astrologists, because astrology is only good as the astrologer, right? Any subject is only good as the teacher of that subject. Astrology, it has been, in this person's opinion who talked to me, and it had the ring of truth, so I kind of accepted it, really. That it's been over the hundreds of years that it's been in existence, kind of on purpose, accidentally made a little more complicated so that astrologers have job security. And that's actually exactly what is also happening to human design around this planet. Everybody's splintering off and making their own kind, and that is why I say we must evaluate our teachers. Because just because a teacher is teaching human design doesn't mean that they've done human design. They might have spent decades studying it. But it's not for studying primarily. We must put on our own oxygen masks first, yes? So, we must evaluate our teachers. Has my teacher given me the impression that they have been doing their homework and thus can be a more clear channel to convey information to me about what I might need to do? However, I'm a revolutionary, so who knows? I could be wrong about all that. So anyway, it's a hack. So it's a little bit complicated of a hack, and it turns out that to really understand the depths of it, you either have to study it for about a decade or go to a specialist who can say, okay, I've put in the decade, or in my case, 4+ years, I'm coming around to 5, but you know, some solid years, and I'm a manifesting generator, or a specialist in 64 keys, which means once I find the thing I love, I can drink from the fire hose of the information and take it in very quickly. We have a manifesting generator here, as a matter of fact. Let's see. I don't know names, but I know I took down one. And that is not a manifesting generator. Neither is that. Must be the chart here, because I thought I saw a manifesting generator. So this chart here is very similar to my chart, and it has a similar energy configuration. Now I'm not going to get into the details because I could talk for 5 years about the details and not give you all of it, but just as an overview. Within this modality, there are approximately, depending on how you look at it, 4 to 5 general types of people, all right? And most of them on the planet have color in this chakra or this energy center right here. And this is the center of life force. This is all the builders, the doers, the makers, the creators. And it turns out you have 2 kinds of them, basically a fast one and a slow one. I'm a fast one. So this is the chart of a fast one. And I also have the chart of a slow one. And we must remember, no judgment in human design. It's a tortoise and the hare thing. Remember who won that race, right? So really what happens is when 2 people go into a workplace and you have a manifesting generator and a straight generator, what will happen is the manifesting generator will pull out front immediately and make more of a better impression on the employer, and the straight generator, who's coming to work every day and doing the thing they're supposed to do, is left in the dust, and it looks like, oh man, I'm just a slow generator. But you will find that that fast generator has skipped steps. Some of them were okay to skip, and that's okay. That's what a specialist is for, to learn which steps can be skipped so that we can streamline our process. Then in that process, they also forget steps. They gotta swing back around and pick them on up later, which means chugga, 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 the straight generator is maybe even more likely to finish in the long run ahead of the manifesting generator, because the manifesting generator has both the challenges and the gifts of being a hybrid type. So, all that is to come back to the subject of deconditioning. So what happens is, when we're born in this world, the world automatically, society automatically begins to condition us away from the gifts with which we have been born. They say, oh, you're a manifester. Well then, please sit down and shut up and don't make any trouble. You're a straight generator. Well, why don't you pick yourself up by your bootstraps and make something happen for you? Come on, go, get out there. And that's exactly opposite advice for them. So the one who's meant to be just a slow and steady builder, creator, doer, maker, actor, the people who do all the things, 70% of society, they get to thinking they're not good enough because they can't move fast like these other types. They can't do these miraculous things. They can't survive like other people. They can't see deeply into other people. And the people who can see deeply into other people, they say, well, you look like not just a regular kind of slave, you look like a super slave to me. Yeah? So human design is about freeing the slaves. No, none of us need to be slaves. None of us. No colors, no ages, no sizes, none of us. We are all equal. We are all necessary to this plan, but we cannot help execute this plan as long as we are bogged down in being what somebody else's idea of us is that we should be. We must be ourselves, and then the question is, who are we? Because most of us don't have a clue. We've been so conditioned away from ourselves, we don't know who we are. And this is a hack to show us. I can look at a picture of you and I can immediately say, oh, I see who you are. And then I can tell you who you are. And you can say, well, take with it, do what you will. I don't care. It's just information. If it doesn't work for you, pass me by. But I have found that oftentimes the information does work. You might not see it at first. When I first saw my chart and design, I went onto 64 keys and I pushed all of these numbers and I said what all they said about me, and every one I was like, oh yeah, very creative. Oh yes, a teacher. Oh yes, a witness. Oh yes, yes, yes. And then I came to the gate 5 activation in my chart, which I don't know my birth time, so I was floundering around, but 5 is there all day long, so I wasn't getting out of it one way or another. And that's the gate of waiting and being still and having rituals. And I escaped from a religious cult in my childhood where there were lots and lots of rituals. And I was always told to wait and be still and obey. And I thought, no, not me. And I wasn't going to accept that system until I saw that there was something there that actually applied to me. And it took me years. That was one of, I'm still not done with the work on that gate. Huge. But as I started to get insight by insight, piece by piece, I started to go, huh, so that's how that works. Or, oh, that was a feature, not a bug, I just didn't realize it. Oh, so that's how that and that work together. I had no idea. So line upon line, precept on precept, yeah, we learn little by little as we go, and then, Ra, the guy who started this whole mess, he says minimum 7 years of active engagement with our charts. We can expect, first of all, to have another 7 years. Second of all, to be able to relax. Because what the chart shows us is what's likely to be stressing us out. And initially, the answer to that question is our white areas, all the areas that don't have color in them. So I can look right away at this chart and I say, oh, you're going to be stressed right here, and you're going to be stressed right here. And if the energy of this person isn't running in one contiguous line, as I can see it is not, then the electrical gaps in the wiring is where that person is likely to be experiencing stress, because they're likely to be trying to live that piece of their design rather than accepting that it is not theirs. It is rather for them to bring into their life by the natural magnetism of our bodies. So we end up trying to be exactly what we are not and ignoring exactly what we are. And the process of deconditioning is all about figuring out which one is which, because it gets confusing. Because the things that we don't actually have in our charts, we magnify in others when we see them. So, for instance, when we have somebody, let's find a chart here. Okay, somebody like this person, she has this triangle over here which represents the solar plexus, undefined. In fact, it's completely undefined. So she's what I call emotionally open, which means she's going to be extremely sensitive to other people's emotions. She's going to feel their feelings, and if she's not aware that those feelings aren't her feelings, she's going to get all messed up in her head, thinking that she's crazy and she's an emotional problem, when all she's doing is really mirroring the emotional blowback that is coming at her from her surroundings. That's a way different energy dynamic than somebody like, let's see, come on. This one. I know it's teeny, but I'll get it as big as I can here. Same center, but look, now we see it blue. So this person has a conscious awareness of being an emotional being. They know they ride that emotional wave. They feel all the feelings. In fact, if these two people were to get together, the person who was emotionally open would be reflecting the emotions of the person who was emotionally defined. And that is how human design can help us understand. Because the person who is emotionally defined can say, oh, okay, I'm having some responsibility for the emotional tone of my surroundings, so I can start to take that. And when they're emotionally undefined, they can say, oh, that's not my problem. That's not my job. I'm just here to feel all the feelings of all the people as they come to me. And then when I'm by myself, just be chill. It's cool. But I get to gain emotional wisdom in this center where I don't actually have birth activation. Now we also have cycles over the courses of, days, weeks, months, years, decades, centuries. We can look at all those dynamics in human design as well. So human design can be used, just like astrology, to tell the future in some respects. And it is fascinating, I have to tell you, because I've been tracking the transits this year, and in late July, I started recording them and posting them on YouTube to show my progress and to show what's going on. And as soon as I get back to Portland, I'm going to be making a series of videos talking about what I learned in the wrap-up to coming here to talk to you guys, which is huge. But we're talking about deconditioning right now, so focus. So, deconditioning is all about, first of all, learning to sit down in what is exactly ours from birth. In other words, to play to our strengths and to release the things that are not our strengths that we've been trying most heartily to be in a misunderstanding of how the energy works. So, what is that? The song keeps coming to me. One thing we're not going to do is chase the things that are not for you. That's it. We've been chasing the things that are not for us. We just need to go, oh, I recognize that. That wasn't for me. Okay, I won't chase that. Let me sit down and figure out something that's actually in my wheelhouse. What's cool for me? What's good for me? Where can I focus? What are my strengths? What are my gifts? And then we move into the next phase, which is, okay, somebody told me this information, but I don't need to swallow it. I need to test it for myself. So then you go, well, that crazy lady, she told me that I need to not make decisions when I'm emotional. So here I am, and somebody has asked me if I want to do this job, and I'm pretty emotional about it right now. And if you asked me right now, I would say, take a long walk up a short bridge. But I know I'm an emotional person. That's what she says anyway. Maybe I'll see. I don't know. First of all, I'm going to watch myself do it wrong. And I'm going to see how doing what I've always done leads to the same ending, except for now, I have a little bit more of an awareness of that dynamic. And the next time, or maybe the next time, who knows, I will go, I was told it's not good for me to make emotional decisions. Maybe I'll wait for that still center she said to wait for. Maybe I'll wait until I'm not emotional to make that emotional decision, and then we'll see how it works out. Lo and behold, things start to little by little work easier in the life. We learn how to go downstream instead of upstream. We become more self-aware. We start to figure things out. The people who are meant for us start to come. The people who are not meant for us, they start to go. And we have all these healing traumas and things that we go through. But little by little, you figure out, oh, okay. And then it becomes easier and easier until we're approaching that first cycle of renewing our whole entire body with this kind of energy. And we go, all right, yeah, that shit was stressing me out really bad and I didn't need it. So now I can be much more chill. I don't know everything about it, but at least I don't have to stress out like I was stressing out when I was trying to make all my decisions just out of the strength of my head and ignoring the massive amount of wisdom my body has for me. Just because my teacher said, sit down, focus, pay attention, learn skills, be part of a community. Well, I gotta tell you, that energy is ending. In 2027, minutes away, basically, we're gonna switch to a whole new cycle of energy. A whole 400-year cycle is beginning, which is why we have such upset and contrast and trauma in the world right now, because we have the people who are in charge of the old way grasping onto their panties for all that they can do. And we have all the new people going, come on, we're ready ready for the new energy now. So there's a lot of clashing going on there, but really, it doesn't matter because they're not going to win. In fact, they have already lost. They just don't know it yet because they cannot change the energy of the future. And those who know about the energy of the future can be more prepared to handle it. So I do lots of talking about the new energy and what the flavor of it is and what it means so that we can face the future and feel more confident and prepared and not sitting down in fear self of going, oh, I don't have enough, what am I going to do? I have to pay the rent, I have to do this, no, I don't have any choice but to be a slave. And the truth is, we do have a choice. If you were going to die tomorrow, would you go to work today? No, you wouldn't. We just don't have enough tricks and hacks and things for people to be able to figure out the right way to get out of their individual slavery, right? So all we need is to share the information together. So that is why I am here. I am a Sherpa. I am built to take people from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain. But they don't start at the bottom of the mountain, do they? They start at home. And I can take you from home to the bottom of the mountain if you want to pay me a lot of money, because that's not my bliss and I don't really want to do it. Which is why I have a YouTube channel where I am giving away the basic information for free, because I'm sick of it not being for free. The gatekeeping can end here. I'm a revolutionary. Fuck that. Everyone needs some of this information. And they don't have to do anything with it if they don't want to. But if they want to, if it helps, well, use it. Somebody tell me when to start talking. Is it time?
It's 5:24.
All right, I have 6 minutes to gab, or at least 5. So, alrighty then. Heard. Where was I? YouTube channel.
Sherpa.
Thank you. So, on the YouTube channel, I am giving videos all the time. I just recently switched from a daily format, which was cramping my style, to a 6-day format, which is still kind of cramping my style. But like I said, my style is fit to change as soon as I get home, so stay tuned. But I'm talking about the basic things, as well as me, my process, so that people can see, yeah, just an ordinary person who used to be just a regular old fat lady who had to raise kids by herself, and her kids don't like her anymore anyway, and there's problems here and problems there, still no money to buy groceries. What are we gonna do with this hot mess? Who goes out and keeps on pissing people off by saying, I have so much information for you, I can change your life, I can make you better, I can tell you everything you need to know. And they go, so lady, I don't think so, right? Because it wasn't running that energy right. And as soon as I learned, I can't go out there and tell people all the truth. Even if I know they need to hear it. I gotta wait till they find me. I gotta wait till they meet my eyes. I gotta wait till they sit down and invite me to speak to them by sitting in a chair in front of me and saying, give me what you got, show me. And then I can go, let's play, right? Because then, we can look at this information and you can see, oh, okay, well, I don't know, but it's something that I'm interested to try out maybe. Maybe, maybe not. Like I said, I don't care. Because I'm either getting ignored or paid. Both of those are okay with me because my process is about me. I'm not out there to try to get views. I'm not out for subscribers. Although, that's fine. I don't care. Goody, goody. But it's more about being authentic. It's more about being me. So that in being me, I can show other people, oh, you can get away with doing that shit? I didn't know I was allowed to be that crazy and still walk around in society. Because being who we are is not actually crazy, right? It's no sign of good health to be fit in an insane society. We're all a little cracked. We all got to figure out what the things are. And seeing our human design gives us the ability to see, oh, okay, here's where I might have been cracked by what the picture of the world usually is. And here's what I might want to start getting back to. And then the interesting thing is, once you get back to that, then you can begin to realize that you don't just have colored parts. We all have the capacity for all of it. So once you're done figuring out how to be just the perfect person in the colors, you can go, but I think I will experiment with the white areas as well, thank you very much. So that when the whole process is done, we become an entire human. We become an entire human, able to do it all because we have this knowledge and the sense of what we were wired to do. And also, okay, I'm experimenting now. I'm working in my white areas where there's a little bit of danger because I don't know. Yeah, I can sense both on and off in this area, and I may have been conditioned to the on, but it's not me, so I need to learn about this energy as well as the energy that I carry every minute of every day from birth. So it's an ongoing learning process. You can do it by yourself. Anyone can go to 64keys.com and pull up your chart just like I do. And the thing about them is that they have a ton of free information. So they give several $100s worth of information about human design, about you, for free. You just go there, you push all the buttons, you have to do a little tutorial, you got to do a little bit of a learning curve, but then you have power over your life and your other people. You have a partner, you can start to look at how does our energy work together? How do we affect each other? You can look at your children and your granny and your conditioning influences and your two best friends who want to get married and you kind of think they shouldn't, but I don't know, you want to look at it and see. So many places this information can help us, but nobody has to take it. Pass me by if it's not your thing. I don't care. You can go to an astrologer. You can go to a chicken bone thrower. You can get psychic readings. You can do tarot cards. You can see messages in the sky. You can become a water wizard. There's lots and lots of ways to the information because essentially all roads lead to Rome. As we become more and more ourselves, more and more mature, more and more grown up, we're all becoming one. Yeah, just different flavors of the one, in which we can have the leisure to look at each other and go, okay, it's you and me right here in the now. So everything else doesn't matter. What are we going to do? We have the now right here, you and me. Shall we play with it? Let's have some fun. Let's be jolly. Because growing up does not have to be painful. Yeah, you got to do the little healing trauma exercise. What is a healing crisis? Yeah, so we got to get through our healing crises. We got to look at ourselves. We got to do our homework, blah, blah, blah. But then we start to find the people who are advanced kind of like us. And we get to share stories. And the closer we get to being the trueness that is of us, we're just like everybody else, except we got there from a different place. And then we can get together and tell stories. Your game or mine. I love them both. Let's play. So, that's it. Human design. You want to know more? Come on to Jolly Alchemy and see me sometime.
Thank you.